So perhaps you're thinking, well, what is the connection between anxiety and boundaries? And even maybe you're thinking, well, I think I've got all my boundaries in place. So the purpose of today's video is that we're going to be searching in a bit more depth or seeking the relationship between anxiety and boundaries. Now, just want to explain or describe a certain situation. So a friend of yours has asked you a favour. They're moving. They want you to help them move some stuff. It's the end of term, and you say yes, and then you think to yourself, okay, then so I'm going to help this person. I'm going to help them pack and move the next week, and then you go home and hi Patrick, how are you? You go home, and then you realise that that's the reason why you didn't plan anything for that day, because you've got an exam on the Monday, and you need, as I say, it's the end of your exam, and you need to put all of your time and energy and effort into planning this exam. And then you think to yourself, oh my goodness, well, I can't really say no now because I've already promised them. So maybe what I'll do, I'll spend a little bit of the day with them, and then I'll come back and I'll study for the exam. So then in your mind, you think, okay, that's good. So Saturday comes, you go to help them with the move. They haven't packed anything yet. And then they say to you, well, I was hoping that you could help me do the packing. So that kind of like puts you out, because you're thinking to yourself, well, I thought I was just going to do the move and that'll be an hour or so. Then I could go home and I could revise for my exam. Now, if they haven't even packed yet and I've got to help them do the packing, we've got to move everything home to their place, then that's going to compromise the time that I've got with my work or my studying. So that kind of like starts, you start getting upset, and as you're helping them and you say nothing, you say yes to them, but in saying yes to them, you're saying no to yourself. So, you get home late and you're tired, and actually that really compromises everything for you. And then you don't know, you have next to no time to do your revision. Now you're stressed out, or you're feeling really anxious, because now you're thinking about, well, I had the whole day to do the revision. I haven't had any time to do the revision. I'm going to fail. I'm not going to do as well as I wanted to. Maybe I won't be able to get onto the next year. So you start feeling anxious. And what's happened is that your boundary has been broken. Now, it's quite difficult actually, because we don't really see the connection with boundaries and anxiety, but sometimes, or a lot of the time, we feel anxious when our boundaries are broken, but then half the time we haven't really set boundaries there in the first place. So the good thing is that we should really be setting boundaries for ourselves in areas of our lives. So when to say yes to people, when to say no to people. And I know that it's hard, but first of all, let's look and see where anxiety is on the mood map. So we know that mood is a mixture of two things. And so it's a mixture of how much energy you've got or how little energy you've got, and how are you feeling. Are you feeling really positive, or are you feeling really rubbish? And it's how much energy you've got and how positive or negative you're feeling that give you your mood in that moment. I don't know if you can see anxiety there. So it's low mood and high energy. So what's happening is that every time one of your boundaries is broken, your anxiety levels go up and up and up. So I've just described that situation, because that would be a perfect example of where your boundaries are being broken. And therefore, it's really important for you to set boundaries in every area of your life, because, treat yourself as you would your best friend. So if you would allow a best friend or advise a best friend to do something, then it's good enough for you. And, they do say as well that when you say no to somebody, you're saying yes to yourself, because you are just as important as everybody else. And if you don't keep your own bucket full, then how can you be of any use and any support to anybody else? And by having these boundaries as well, you're much likely to not be in the low moods, like high energy, low moods, like anxiety, and much more able to be positive and confident and have better relationships around you, and therefore improve the quality of your life. So how would you do this? Well, you look at areas of your life, and then you look at where you can put boundaries there to protect yourself. So, for example, it could be in relationships. Relationships like, so sexual relationships, what would your boundary be? Would you let somebody touch you if you didn't want to be touched? Would you like somebody hug you when, you don't want to be hugged? All things like this are worth considering and worth thinking about before they happen. Because when somebody violates your boundary, and then you go into stress, that is your fright hormone, and that means you're pumping out lots of cortisol, lots of adrenaline, and that's not going to be good for your health in the long term. So what I suggest you do, you look at certain areas of your life, you look at your work life, or maybe at school, and see if you can write boundaries there to be able to protect yourself. Look at your school life, look at your relationships, look at your spiritual life, look at your mental your mental life, your emotional life, and then sit down and start writing down your boundaries. What kind of things will you allow, and what kind of things would you not allow? Because it's worth thinking through what they are first of all, rather than somebody break that boundary or pass that boundary and then you start feeling anxious and then it compromises your mental health. So thank you for watching this video. Today we've looked about how to set boundaries and how in setting boundaries can really overcome any anxiety and prevent it from coming up. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll speak with you again in tomorrow's video. Thank you.